China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.
Hey everyone, this is China Chicken, and welcome to my box score breakdown for the Buffalo Bills versus Miami Dolphins. The Bills fall to 6-3 and 2-2 away, and the Miami Dolphins go up to 3-7 and 2-3 at home. Miami Dolphins ended up winning the game 30-13. Pretty terrible game for the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, let's go through the Buffalo passing and let's see if we can find something that can be a positive for the Bills moving forward or turn a negative into a positive, hopefully, going forward. So let's see here. Josh Allen passing. He went 28 for 40, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and took 3 sacks. You may look at this and say, hey, not a bad game for Josh Allen. But a lot of this was they were down 16-0 in the first half. Going into the fourth quarter, they still had 0 points. And, they had to unleash Josh Allen and play quick offense, and Miami was just letting him do it and letting him run out the clock, basically. So that's how his stats look pretty decent here. But, the 1 interception, and again, he's taking sacks, so 3 sacks. So not a great game for Josh Allen, but it may have been, more of scheme and game plan than Josh Allen playing bad. Tua, he had a pretty good game. He went 15 for 21, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Both of his 2 interceptions were deep interceptions that, people were saying maybe it's an arm punt or something like that. It was on like 3rd and 10 and no one's open, so just throw it deep to Jalen Waddle and hopefully he comes down with one of them. But that didn't end up happening, and Bills were able to get interceptions off of it. Tua also took 0 sacks, which was surprising. So that's really bad for the Bills. They should have been able to, get to Tua and sack him at least once or twice. Didn't end up happening at all. And then Buffalo's rushing. We got James Cook, 13 carries, 53 yards. Pretty yikes for him. Not a very good game for James Cook. But again, they were down early, so they had to pass the ball a lot. Josh Allen ran the ball 4 times for 31 yards, and 15-yard was his long there, and then not much after that. Ray Davis, man, 2 carries for -2 yards. Pretty rough game on the ground for the Bills. On the flip side, Miami's rushing. Devon Achane had a game. 22 carries for 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2 of them were very long touchdowns. One of them was a 59-yarder. The other one was like a 40-yarder. So that was a lot of his yardage. But, geez, man, they just couldn't stop him at all. And not much after that. Let's see. Buffalo's receiving. Khalil Shakir led the way. He does what he does every game. Gets 6 or 7 receptions. And then around 60, 70 yards. So there we go for him. And that was on 9 targets with a 24-yard long. Keon Coleman had 3 catches for 46 yards, 1 touchdown on 8 targets. 3 catches and 8 targets, not good for Keon Coleman. They got to figure out something with him. Dalton Kincaid looked good in this game, but then got hurt, and that's been the story of the Bills all year, is every game, they might look good or whatever, and then someone gets hurt in that game, and it really hurts them in the next game. So not good that Dalton Kincaid is hurt. We also have Josh Palmer is out, so it's looking rough for their passing game here. Dawson Knox had 3 catches, 37 yards. Jackson Hawes had a catch and a touchdown as well. So yeah, just not the best game for the Bills. It looks like not bad, like they were spreading it out here, but again, a lot of this was garbage time in the fourth quarter. James Cook, 5 catches, 5 targets. Hey, that's not bad. That's his most catches in the game by far this year, maybe his whole career. I don't know. Jalen Waddle, who the Bills were supposed to trade for before this game, 5 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. He killed us. They don't have targets on here. 7 targets. Devon Achane, along with his rushing, he's a good receiver too. 6 for 51 on 6 targets, so perfect game for him, really. And then not much after that. Surprised they only threw it to 5 different guys this whole game. Kind of crazy there. But Fumbles was a big story. Josh Allen fumbled once as they were driving, and he fumbled trying to get some extra yardage. Same with James Cook. It was kind of the same story there. They both fumbled going into the red zone, trying to get some extra yardage, and Miami was able to punch it out. So Minka Fitzpatrick recovered one, and then Juju Brents recovered one. Never heard of him. Buffalo's defense, Jordan Poyer led the way with 8 tackles. That's not a good sign that Jordan Poyer's leading your team in tackles. He's, an older player that came in just a few weeks ago. Cole Bishop starting to look a little better. Cam Lewis playing for Taron Johnson. Terrell Bernard has been kind of not that good this year. A couple tackles for loss, though. Cam Lewis, Bernard, Joey Bosa, Tre'Davious White even. Man, a lot of old guys on their team I'm looking at, just Poyer, Bosa, White, Milano. They got to get younger on defense. Something is wrong here. But yeah, we'll go over to Miami's defense. Ooh, Jordan Brooks, 12 tackles. I don't know who that is, but 2 tackles for loss as well. Let's see who got the sacks. Minka Fitzpatrick played well. Tyrell Dodson, who used to be a linebacker for the Bills, I bet they kind of wish they had him back a little bit. Jack Jones, 2 tackles for loss. Who had the sacks here? Okay, Chubb had a sack. He's defensive end. Zach Sealer, one of their best defensive players, had a sack. Willie Gay had a sack as well. So good game defensively for Miami, definitely. Like I said, Max Hairston had an interception. Cole Bishop had an interception. So 2 of their young guys in secondary are looking promising here. Miami had an interception as well. Melifonwu had it. I'm not going to talk about kick returns or punt returns. Nothing really happened there. Prater, 0 for 0 and 1 extra point. Riley Patterson, 1 field goal, 3 extra points, missed 1. I think that was early in the game, the first touchdown. Okay, let's go over the team stats now. Let's see if we can find out what happened in this game from the team stats. So first downs, Bills actually won that. They had 20 first downs. 12 of them were passing, and 4 of them were rushing. Miami was pretty balanced that way. They had 9 and 9. Let's see, these are third down efficiency. So not good here. 33% from third down efficiency, 5 for 15. Miami was also 33%, 3 for 9. Bills were 1 for 4 on fourth down. They were down all game, so they had to go for it on fourth downs. Bills had more plays. Yardage was about the same amount of drives. Yards per play. Miami won that, but not by much. Like, it's, 7 to 5.8. Passing yardage, Bills won that, but, they were playing from down the whole game. Yards per pass, okay, so Miami won that. Interceptions, obviously Josh threw 1. Rushing attempts, Miami ran it more. They ran better too, 6.2 yards per carry to 4 yards per carry. Red zones, Bills were 0 for 1, and Miami was 1 for 1 in red zone. I'm surprised both teams only went to the red zone once. That's kind of weird. Penalties, about, the same. 6 for 67, 5 for 35. The yardage is a little different, but turnovers, 3 for the Bills, and then only 2 for the Dolphins. But again, the Dolphins' 2 turnovers, those 2 interceptions were they were, arm punts on 3rd and long, just trying to make something happen. Bills, they fumbled twice going into the red zone, and then they threw an interception in the red zone. You can't win games like that. So, like I said there with the turnovers, but time of possession, Bills won that, but, that didn't help them that much. Bills did have a drive, their opening drive in the third quarter. They looked really good, but they, used up 10 minutes, and then they fumbled or threw an interception. I can't remember which one, but yeah, just a rough game for the Bills. Hopefully they can get it together going into playing Tampa Bay at home this next coming week, so hopefully they can play better. Bills always have a couple games like this every season. Hopefully they can come out of it stronger, learn from their losses. They seem to do that really well, is learn from their losses and move on to the next week, and hopefully they can go on a run here. Every year they always end up going on a run towards the end of the year in November into December. They rarely lose those games, so hopefully that trend continues. And yeah, hoping for a better game against Tampa Bay. Let's go Bills.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.